Hello, Crystal. Hey, Jayne. I'm going to unmute people for right now. Hold on. There we go.
Hey,
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing really good.
Uh-oh, I lost you.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. I can see you.
I can see myself. Let's see here. Hold on.
My screen went to the phone icon. Can you see me?
Oh, it's book. Hold on. I'll stop. Okay, there. That should have stopped it. No,
No, I still
because I can see myself.
okay, there you are.
Okay.
Okay, I can see you. Now you're on my screen. Okay.
We have lots of people jumping on. Hello to all the phone numbers. I don't know who y'all are, but I see Mary. I see Crystal. I think that may be one of yours, Jayne. We have
Crystal.
other phone numbers on here that are your peeps.
Oh, really? Okay. It would be kind of cool. How can we find out who's on?
They'll have to tell us by
Oh,
when we officially start in just a second. We can ask everybody to unmute,
okay.
and then they can say hello, so we kind of know who's on the phone.
Yeah. Awesome. It's good to see you.
I know, good to see you. I'm so glad you could be here today so we can do some magic on this rainy day, which I think is very auspicious.
Oh, I know. It's pretty, I don't know, again, who everybody is, around the state or out of state. I know I got a lot of people out of state too, but here in Austin, where are you in? You're in Austin, aren't you, Linda?
I'm right outside of Austin in Kyle, so I'm like just about 15 minutes south, and then Mary's in Wimberley.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm North Austin, Libertyville, Cedar Park. So yeah, it's getting dark outside.
Yeah, well, this morning in this side, maybe it was moving that way because this morning I woke up to dark clouds and lots of rain taking my daughter to school.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of quieted down. It's like a little bit of sprinkles over here, but it's probably moving that direction because I have some other people. Hey, Africa. I have some other people that live up north that are telling me that it's starting to storm.
Yeah, it is, and I mean I've got all the lights on it, but it's dark. So hopefully the lighting is okay for the Zoom. So hopefully everybody can see me okay.
Yeah, we can see, well, at least I can see you.
Okay.
And I'm just going to send up, it looks like more people are jumping on right now. So happy so many people are joining us.
Wow, this is awesome.
The phone numbers are your peeps, Jayne, because I sent out the Zoom link to my people.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, maybe some of my people have the number and called in. But we'll open it up in a minute so everybody can say hello and share who they are.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
And then I'm going to give everybody like a Zoom 101 so you'll know how it works. Some of you have done Zoom before, so no big deal. For those that are on the phone, if you have the app on your phone, if you're just calling in straight from your phone, then all you can do is hear us. But if you're calling in on a Zoom app on your phone, then you can unmute yourself and we can even possibly see you on video. It just depends on how you called in. For those that are on the computer, we can see you already, so hello. And all you have to do is look at the bottom of the screen and there's a little menu there. And to the left, there's a little mute microphone. So right now I have everybody muted other than me and Jayne. We're going to do like a little intro and everything, and then we'll open up and let everybody say hello. And then there's also a stop video. So if you're on video, you can always stop your video but still hear us. The only way you're going to jump off is if you move to the right side, you see end meeting. If you click on that and you get off the meeting, then you'll disconnect from us. So that's kind of how it works. And then there's a little chat. So at the bottom, you see like a little bubble with 3 dots in it. That's a chat. So if people wanted to ask questions, Jayne, during your presentation, they can type it into the chat. We'll definitely open up the lines for people to have direct, questions to you as well. So there's a lot of fun things we can do. So it looks like right now we got about 10 people on. I know more people will probably jump on later. So see, some people do have pictures, like Elaine. I think she's one of yours. She has a picture there, so we know she's here.
All right, Elaine. Awesome.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So Crystal said hello to everyone in the chat box. So thank you, Crystal. Wonderful. So I think what we'll do, it's almost 5 after. So what we'll do, Jayne, is I'll just start with like a little introduction of who I am. I'll pass it on to you and let you introduce so that we can kind of let all our peeps know who we are. And then we're going to be doing some play today with some
Yeah.
people.
It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day.
I can already feel the energy of this. So I'm so glad we're doing this for the first time. Okay, so what I want to do is first say thank you to all you beautiful souls that decided to come on this Zoom call to meet Jayne and to experience me in the Awaken Your Light Academy. Hello, Jamila. I see a lot of people. Elaine, say hello. Mary, Africa, hello in the chat. So just to let you know, I live right outside of Austin, Texas. I've been in this area for over 32 years. So I've seen a lot of changes happen to Austin. Undergrad to UT, and then I went to grad school at UT, and then I just never left. And so I just recently moved a little further south outside of Austin just to have some breathing space. And I've been working for over 10 years, mainly with women, assisting with transformation. Life transformations when women are stuck and can't move forward in particular areas of their life, such as their finances or their business or their career or health issues, body issues, things having to do with relationship. I even do some couples work, and then spiritual matters, and then really helping women to open to their higher spiritual gifts. And so a lot of times people find me when they're stuck and they can't move forward in some way. And just recently this year, I'm beginning to move into working with businesses, small businesses, groups, small like executive groups that are needing to really shift or pivot their businesses in a new direction. So I've been invited by another consultant to work with her to assist her in some kind of deeper stealth transformation with some businesses. So that's kind of like one of the new things I'm beginning to play with now as well. But my favorite thing to do is to work with women and work with women in circles. And I love nature like Jayne does. But I know, Jayne, you do a lot more in nature that you can share with us later as well. But what I wanted to do today was really bring together the beautiful magic that Jayne has, along with the Academy people and those that are joining us today to just experience the Academy and to experience Jayne, so that we can see what kind of beautiful magic we can do with our souls. I met Jayne, was it last year? Was it last June or May? Maybe last May.
Yeah.
At a retreat in Pittsburgh. And I was like, who is this woman? I was like, whoa, you are so powerful. You have such a beautiful, big heart. You have a gorgeous servant's heart. Just see it just flowing out of you. You have a lot of light around you, and you're so committed to your work, so committed to Mother Earth. I've seen beautiful work on Enchanted Rock, and I was just like, okay, I need to know her more. And then we ended up being roommates.
Yeah, in Tulum. Yes, we did.
Exactly, because we were invited to this retreat, and we ended up being roommates. So that was really great. And so we've got to spend a lot of time together and to kind of experience each other on like a friendship level. And so now it's like, I want to just, have us all experience the magic together. So I'm excited to be here with you, and you said yes to joining. And so I want you to share all about you right now to everybody. I know there's people in here that know you, but there's people here on my end who don't know you. So just kind of share what you want to share today, who you are and how you kind of got into what you do.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you, Linda, for inviting me to talk about my work and to be introduced to your people. And one other thing that I want to say is that you left out your gong.
Oh my God, Matilda! I forgot about Matilda.
Like if you haven't experienced that, you have got to experience Linda and Matilda, the gong. But absolutely, I just appreciate what you're doing, and I appreciate the work that you put into the world. Your grace, your elegance, your compassion, the way you are with people is just, you put people at ease. And that was one of the things that really drew me to you, was just how you're able to connect and how you led us through meditations in Tulum, and just your accuracy, your precision, and your intuitive ability is very very inspiring and very healing too. So I want to thank you for that too.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for bringing in Matilda. I forgot all about the fact that you experienced her. That's right. Retreat.
It's incredible. Yeah, people need to experience that with you. You're very, very gifted with that. But
well, remind me, because Friday I am doing a gong and meditation healing here at my place, so I'll share more about that later.
Perfect. Well, I'm a soul empowerment coach, and I started 14 years ago, actually, as a medium. And there's a big, long story about how I got there. But I started as a medium and connecting in with those in spirit. And then that evolved into people asking about their lives, their careers, relationships. And one thing that I saw, what was so glaring to me about the mediumship was the level of loss that people were feeling and the grief. The mediumship was wonderful because, I mean, we can bring forth messages and that type of thing, but it doesn't touch the grief. Mm-hmm. And once you have a loss, it has this tendency to expose all of the losses that you've ever felt. Yes. And so then that sort of just naturally led into working with people intuitively and helping them at a spiritual level to clear away some blocks and some belief patterns and things that were holding them back in their everyday lives. And then that morphed into, I wanted to go deeper with people. And so then that ended up really going into more soul retrieval work, which was going into the inner child and really, really understanding that it is our inner child. It's the childhood wounds mm-hmm. that really play out today. In terms of how we see the world, yes. Our belief systems about who we are, who we believe other people to be, what we believe about this whole physical experience that we're having. So many people, if you really get down about it, a lot of people don't feel safe. They don't feel supported. The truth, they want to, but they just don't.
Right.
And this all trails back to our childhood. And, we don't have to have a traumatic childhood experience to develop ideas of separation. We don't have to have that. Mm-hmm. Because it doesn't matter. You're going to get it at school. You're going to get it with your friends. Your best friend's going to betray you. It's going to be a boyfriend, girlfriend. So something's going to happen. Yeah. That's really going to rock your world. No one escapes. No one escapes.
Right.
And so my passion, what I really saw, what Spirit really illumined for me, just even in my own life, is that what happened in childhood and the established belief system that got embedded is still playing out today. But we think that it's not. We think that it's the other person. We think it's our job. We think it's the things going on in the present, and it's not. It really does have everything to do with yesterday.
Yeah.
Right. So, my wheelhouse is working with people in relationships, whether it's men or women. I have a deep passion to help people find a greater level of quality and fulfillment, satisfaction in their relationships, but also to find a sense of independence. It's that blend between, really maintaining a sense of yourself, mm-hmm. but also being able to share yourself in a way that's very healthy, and it's got boundaries around it. And, it allows the best of you to come out, because everybody knows relationships are one or two things. They're either heaven or they're hell. It's like they're either heaven or they're hell. And it doesn't just have to be romantic relationships. It can be relationships with your kids, your family, your best friends, your parents, whatever it is.
Yes.
And what we always have to understand is that there's one common denominator in relationships, and that's us. So no matter what relationship we're having, there's only one person that's really involved, and that's us.
Right.
And that really, we're bringing all of our wounding, and we're also bringing all of our healing. And sometimes we get those things very, very confused, and we don't know which is which.
Yes.
So I work individually with people. I do one-on-ones. I have packages that I also have for people that really want to go deeper and want to go into an immersion type of program to really go deep into these wounds and belief systems. And then also, like you mentioned, nature. I do sacred soul healing journeys. And so we take the work that I do in the office, and a lot of times we go out into nature. And the reason why I do that is I'm super passionate about Mother Earth, the divine feminine, because it's the feminine energy that is going to allow us to rebirth ourselves. So, in childhood, we establish these identities and who we think we are. And a lot of times we do that to protect ourselves, to ward off pain, grief, because we don't know how to process all that stuff. And then we get into adulthood, and then we get to figure out how to let that go, and then how do we be our most authentic self? Like, that's what adulthood is. And so I feel that when you can put yourself into nature, because everything has a vibration, everything has an auric field, and if you look at nature, it is the absolute most perfect demonstration of divine expression, perpetuated by the energy to grow. That's powerful to me. That is so powerful, because all of nature, there is a timelessness about it. There's an energy about it to grow, not to become less,
right?
Not to hide itself,
right?
Not to just be a little bit of a bloom or kind of an oak tree, or just a little bit of a sun. It comes into its full expression. And so I feel like if we can get into nature, before the Industrial Revolution, we were very close to the earth. It's in our DNA, it's in our cell tissue. I mean, we were very connected with the patterns of nature, the seasons of nature, the animals. There was a respect, there was an honor, there was a relationship, there was a cohesiveness, there was a collaboration with nature. There wasn't a separation. There wasn't this thing about, we own it and we'll do whatever we want to do and pillage it and. Yeah. So I can really get off on I can go on a tangent with that one.
You have, I love it.
I do. I'm very passionate about it, because I feel that it is us, and I really do feel that part of our ascension process is to heal our relationship with nature and to go back to that. And to really feel that it's the divine feminine, and to really activate the feminine energy within us, to rebirth this new life, or this grand expression. That's what I talk about all the time. It's like to really come into the grandest expression of who we are, which is our divinity. Right. And so that's a kind of gives you an idea of what I do. And so it's, we take the coaching from the office into nature. We do retreats. I have a real vision of, I want to go all over the world. I want to take people to sacred sites and sacred places, and feel the energy and the vibrations and frequencies, and attune our own frequency to these higher vibrations, and to do this work. So I have a global vision. I want to go worldwide. I want to go everywhere, do everything, and help the world heal. So I'm very, very passionate, very dedicated to it. So yeah.
Oh my God, beautiful. So all of you could see the passion that this woman has for her work. And so I love it. And it's so funny, because in so many ways, you and I are very similar in our interests. We just may use different tools, but we're
right.
similar. I'm all about the divine feminine and honoring that awakening of the divine feminine, that light within all of us. So it's really beautiful to see so many people coming into resonance with that. So for all these, look at the number we have. We have 13 people.
I know.
Anything about numerology, the number 13 is the number of the goddess.
Oh, isn't that amazing?
Just been blessed. Oh, now we have 14.
There we go, 14. That's wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. It's good.
So to everybody that's here, what I want to first do is, now that we've introduced ourselves, I'm going to do a little kind of grounding to just bring all the energy in, and have all of us here now present. So If you're on the phone and you are driving, I would ask that you pull over and be safe, especially if you're in this area. Hi, Elizabeth, because it's really not safe to be driving while you're listening to a grounding meditation when I have you close your eyes. So I just want to make sure I say that so that we can all be safe here. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to just be calling in the energy for every soul that's here and those who may watch this replay later. And I'm just going to ask for the presence of everyone to be here, your heart presence to be here, asking the higher beings of light that are part of your paths to be here, to assist us in whatever beautiful, powerful soul healings want to happen today. Know that there's many multi-dimensional layers of healing that happen on these calls. I set the intention beyond just the guest who's here, so that whatever powerful healing or awarenesses or awakenings or higher levels of ahas and epiphanies want to happen for anyone and everyone on this call or those who watch later, just know that there's gifts here for you. So many blessings here for you beyond what you're just watching or listening to. So I just ask that you open your heart today. Open your heart to any particular intention right now that you have for your own healing. Maybe there's clarification you need in your life. Maybe there's a validation you're needing in your life right now. Maybe something is really causing some, instability in you. Maybe there's an emotional need you have. Maybe you're in a place right now where you're needing something to shift, something to change, or you're really needing just an awareness to happen for you so that shift can happen for you. So I want you to bring that into your heart right now. Whatever that particular intention is, just bring it into your heart and allow that intention to be here. We're going to bring it right into the circle. I ask that all of your beautiful higher selves step forward, asking your heart wisdom to step forward. And I want you to imagine that we're all standing in a beautiful circle together. And in the middle of the circle is this beautiful golden pillar of light. So we're all standing around the circle, and in the middle of the circle is this golden pillar of light. And this golden pillar of light connects to the divine above and then connects to the center of Mother Earth below. And I want you each to imagine that you're opening your heart chakra, your heart energy, and you're sending a beam of light from your heart into that golden beam in the center of the circle. And this is going to connect us as one heart of divine light. We're connecting through divine pure grace and love, knowing that this connection of golden light between all of us purifies all of the connections, so that we're all connected on this higher plane of grace and love, so that we are connected on this higher plane of wisdom, so that we're connected beyond our personalities. We're connecting at this higher level of love. Just allowing your heart light, visualize that beam of light coming into that golden, beautiful pillar in the center of the circle, so that all of us are sending a beam of our light into that pillar in the center. And we're allowing this beautiful connection to expand. So I want you to imagine that pillar of golden light beginning to expand and widen in the center of the circle until it encompasses all of us. So that now we're all contained within this beautiful golden energy of divine grace, asking that this energy hold us in its love, asking that this divine grace hold us in the perfect place we need to be held in today. So that whatever healing, whatever changes, whatever shifts, whatever epiphanies, whatever ahas, whatever higher levels of openings or gifts want to happen today, whatever blessings want to come today, we're contained in this beautiful grace, in this golden grace. And know that as you connect to this divine light, whatever happens today is between you and Creator. It's a co-creation. And Jayne and I here are holding this beautiful light, this beautiful container. So whatever wants to happen between you and divine, that's between you and divine. Just know we're holding the highest love and the highest light for each of you, knowing that all of our beautiful higher beings of light and spiritual teams of light are here surrounding each of you as well. So I've called all that energy in to be here. And know that anything and everything that occurs today only occurs by permission of your higher self. and that all is blessed, and that you are honored as sovereign. So I want to make this sacred affirmation, and then we will begin the next phase of our call today. And this comes from Patricia Cota Robles, eraofpeace.org. I am my I am presence, and I am one with my Father, Mother, God. In loving gratitude, I accept my gift of life. I ask my I am presence to consecrate every thought, word, feeling, and action I express throughout this day with divine love and infinite gratitude for the opportunity to add to the light of the world. And so it is. And just know that each of you right now, by coming together as part of this conscious group of love and light, we are in this very moment adding love and light to this planet and to humanity. So I just ask that each of you send out a beautiful burst of light from your hearts. Send it out into the world so that every soul that needs to be touched by the light we create today is touched by that light. Knowing that what we ask for ourselves, we want to ask for all of humanity, because we are not separate, as Jayne was mentioning earlier. We are being asked to go beyond duality of good and bad and right and wrong and, light and dark and good and evil. We're asked to go beyond that. We are all one, and we are oneness, and we're just acknowledging that at the same time that we are oneness, we're also sovereign beings of light within that oneness. So we send that beautiful light out, asking it to bless all those souls out there ready to receive this light, and ask that that beautiful light come back to us and bless our lives and how we serve. And I just say thank you to each of you that your souls showed up here today for this beautiful circle of light. And so now, Jayne, I just wanted to open and allow what wants to come through around what is soul retrieval, because there may be some people here that have never had a soul retrieval done, and I know certain people do it certain ways. What exactly is it? How does it benefit you? So we're going to kind of move into that right now. And then we're going to open up the call so that people can ask questions, introduce themselves, things along those lines. So I'm going to kind of hand it over to you right now.
Okay, awesome. So the first thing about soul retrieval is it's a process to help us come into a place of self-love. That's the bottom line. And again, I'll just say that, again, I focus in the realm of relationships, all relationships. But you can do this with health, you can do this with your career, your finances, whatever it is. I just happen to do it in the realm of relationships because it's what I understand the best. Mm-hmm. And where I've had the greatest healing, where I have the greatest expertise. So we'll just set the foundation there. So everything I talk about will be related to relationships. So one of the things that I think is so incredibly important is that in whatever relationships you have, there has to be a sense of self-love, respect for the self, an honor, reverence. And a lot of times this is what we're healing. Mm-hmm. And as we talked about earlier, we're healing this because it got broken somewhere in childhood. Or maybe not childhood, maybe it was adolescence, maybe it was in your early adult years when you went through an awful divorce. Mm-hmm. Or you were cheated on, or there was a betrayal, or maybe you did the cheating, or maybe you did the betrayal and there's leftover guilt. Mm-hmm. But either way, whatever that negative thing is, whatever that negative energy is, it all comes back to a time on your timeline. Something happened, some type of a trauma happened, and it caused you great pain, and it caused you heartache or heartbreak. And through that, when you don't have a sense of spiritual understanding, or you don't have the tools by which to process or help yourself through that, you will default to the ego. And the ego is not a bad thing. It's just that if it's left to its own devices, it doesn't work with us. It works against us. And here's how it does that. It will devalue us, will come up with a dialogue that may say that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I must have done something to cause this. Sometimes we internalize our parents' voice or our caregivers. Sometimes we internalize their voice in terms of like who we think that we are. If we're not good enough, if we don't have enough education, or we didn't, somehow it was our fault that we put ourselves in certain situations and then certain things happen to us. Those things are very traumatic. So there's an internalization that happens, and when that internalization happens from a negative point of view or negative energy, then it creates separation within us, and we go into a protective state of being. So there again, right, we'll put up walls, we'll be passive aggressive, we will overcompensate, put other people's needs in front of ours. We'll go into codependency. And we do all of those things because somewhere there's a wound and we're hurt and we're trying to protect that. But we're trying to protect it and still get love. See, that's the inner conflict, right? It's like we're hurting, we have a wound, but yet we still want to be loved, accepted, in connection, have intimacy in our relationships. And intimacy is just being with the truth, being open and transparent. But yet we have this wound, and so it's like driving with the brake on. And so you can't really achieve what it is that you want in relationships because we still have this wound playing out somewhere in the background that is causing us to hide or withdraw or not feel safe enough to really bring our full self to the relationship. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's the purpose of why I do soul retrieval, is so that we can go back to that trauma. But here's the thing. We go back to the trauma, and so most everybody on this call, and pretty much anybody that's on the spiritual path, we get into adulthood and we figure out that we're in pain and we want to do something about it, right? And so we get on the spiritual path and we learn all these things and we create new communities and we do all these healing things, and it's wonderful when we start to feel better. And so in our adult life, we sort of create this new construct, construct by which we live in, right? And we have enough spiritual savvy to understand the concepts of forgiveness, acceptance, self-love, being patient with ourselves, understanding process. Well, we get that in the adult part of us, right? Okay, there's still a young lady or a young man, a little child in us. There's still a 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 20-year-old that's still living in us that doesn't know this.
Exactly.
It doesn't know that. And we think that because now we're an adult and we're now on this spiritual path, that it should fix everything and on the timeline, and it doesn't. Right. So that's why when we get into relationship, we've been on the spiritual path, and we get into relationship and all hell breaks loose at some point. Or we run up against really uncomfortable situations, or we find that, dadgummit, I still can't tell my truth. I still want to hide. I still want to manipulate myself in a way that I know you will accept. Like, we still do it.
Yeah. Right? We can do it not just in, like you said, romantic relationships, because I remember doing these very difficult types of dances with employers, specifically female employers.
Oh, wow. Very good. Yeah.
because I was adopted. So there's a lot of wounding around being adopted as a baby.
Exactly.
There's a sense of abandonment by the birth mother kind of energy that gets imprinted. So yeah, I completely see how these patterns can play out with your employer, with coworkers, with particular family members, things along those lines, where you like leave a piece of yourself. When I think of soul retrieval, I think it's like you're leaving a piece of your soul back there. It's not in the present moment here with you. Is that right? And so
Absolutely.
almost like you have to go back there and bring it into the present moment.
Absolutely. And that's so good what you're saying with employers, or even with your friends or your family. And, you know, I talk about this all the time. We have different aspects of ourselves. So how I'm showing up with you and everybody else, this is one aspect of me, right? And so, but if I go have Thanksgiving dinner with my family, that's a whole nother aspect, right? It's like, I've never read the book. I've never meditated. I've never had any healing. It's like that, right? So
I think the Dalai Lama said something like, if you think you're enlightened, go spend a weekend with your parents.
oh, you know, and God bless them. And I honored, my father's passed, but my mother and family, but I honor them for who they are in my life for sure. But absolutely. And so, and you may show up, I know sometimes parents have difficulty with knowing where the parent line is and then where the friend line is, and what is all of that? And so it's not just romantic, but it's in all of our relationships. So soul retrieval, my tagline is free to be you. And what I really want to help people is to be free to be themselves.
Without the wounding, without all of those imprints of those past experiences, but them right now in the now, like the full authentic them. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because it clouds you.
Right.
It really, it clouds the level of intimacy that you actually can share with someone else. And, again, it's like I was saying, intimacy is just being with the truth.
Yes.
It's just, me being with you, honestly, being able to express how I'm feeling, how I'm thinking, what my experience is in this moment, without the fear of judging. If you judge me, that's fine, but it's I'm not going to take this personally type of thing.
Yeah.
And when we can really sit in the presence of each other and really be free to be ourselves, then the experience can become more than what it is on our own. And I think that's when creativity is born and ideas are born, and innovation, especially in the workplace, because I know you're going to be doing more in the workplace. And it's like you bringing your most authentic self. And that's a very vulnerable thing to do, to go into businesses and work with them in a very intimate kind of way. Because, you're risking, it's like there's a whole different mindset with that.
Exactly.
I know, I've done it too. So there's a whole different mindset. And yet, can we really be our most authentic self in those types of situations? Because I'll tell you, we've got to remember that our sense of fulfillment and joy and peace, it doesn't come from if someone accepts me for me.
Right.
It doesn't come from, who that other person is. It doesn't come from whether or not they like my ideas, or if they like the work I do, or if they like how I show up. It doesn't come from that stuff. It comes from me being me. Exactly. It comes from me loving me, coming into great self-love and honor and respect for myself. And that's when your cup really gets full, and when you can really, fill up your own cup. That's why I love to go into nature, because of the, the energy that's there and what you can commune with in nature and all of the elements. And to remember, that's really what drove me to repairing my relationship with nature, was because I'm like, okay, clearly I cannot get this right in relationships. So how about nature? So it's like, clearly this is a train wreck for me. And seriously, I make fun of it, but really it was a couple of years ago. I went through a parting of ways. I was engaged, and it just dawned on me. It's like, something is clearly off, and I'm the only one that keeps showing up. And that's when I really began to go where I felt would be the healthiest way for me to go, was to nature.
Yeah.
Was to an authentic energy, so that I could learn what is self-love, what does this mean, and to have a relationship with something in physical form that wasn't necessarily a human, but was nature. And begin to commune with nature, because it's going to hold the vibration. It's not going to be codependent with me. It's not going to lie to me. It's not going to trigger my buttons. It's not going to do all that stuff. Like, you can't lie to nature.
Yes.
You can't.
And
So that's
interesting, as you're talking, I'm actually feeling the heart chakra real activated right now as we're working in this group field. I just want to share with everybody, there's already energy moving for everybody right now. And what I'm noticing, as you were mentioning nature, I just felt all this tree energy come in. So I've got a big connection with trees, because they just all like showed up.
Yes.
The other thing that I'm hearing to share with the whole group is that if you are willing to say yes, and that's individually, each of you on the call, if you're willing to say yes, there is some beautiful nature medicine that Jayne's energy field just brought in for everyone. And here's the message that I received from nature as Jayne was talking. Nature says, I'm safe for you to fully open your heart 100%. So this is why nature is so healing for us, is because that's the one place where we can actually fully 100% open our heart chakras and let nature in to do that deeper healing where we may have been wounded. Because we're in the presence of any person, even if it's a person we like or we feel safe with, there's aspects of our human heart that might shut. But when we're in the presence of the purity, the authenticity of nature, our heart naturally just kind of relaxes and opens. And that can create some really deep healing, just as you said, by just being in nature, appreciating nature, being thankful for the beauty of it and for its serenity, and for the fact that, in this moment, it's filling my eyes with beautiful visions, or I feel the breeze on my skin, or the coolness of the water. I mean, there's all the sensory beauty of nature that is very healing, literally, for our senses. Because when we've been traumatized, I was actually a trauma specialist in another life before I started doing this work, and I worked with trauma with children and adolescents. And as we know in trauma, from the research with trauma, is that we get sensory overloaded with trauma. So it could be our vision got traumatized, or our hearing, or whatever occurred in the particular trauma, we got sensory overload in the trauma. And nature can help to heal and soften and clear out some of the sensory imprint overload from traumatic moments of our past. So it makes so much sense what you're saying about nature, and why I'm feeling such a strong, like, whoo, heart chakra opening right now, is because nature's like, we're here.
It's true. It's true. In fact, there's a lot of research happening over in the UK and Europe where doctors are actually prescribing nature.
Yes.
And even businesses are prescribing nature as a way to reduce stress and anxiety. Yes. And so it's a very powerful place. And I love what you said. It's really one of the few places where you can go and truly be yourself. And that's what it was for me. And, I've had a lot of childhood trauma, and, I have really been known to go and talk to the trees and tell the trees my story, because I just feel too ashamed, or just too vulnerable to tell someone else. And so a lot of times it's just talking to nature, and then, that you're held. If you're really doing it from a very innocent place, like you really want to be helped, you really want to release the story, you really do want to heal, and you surrender yourself, and you open your heart with such vulnerability, you will feel the power of it. You absolutely will feel, because again, it's divine feminine. You know, it's the great mother, it's the cosmic mother, it's the divine mother, it's the mother that many of us didn't have, or, you know, and some people have a beautiful mother. I'm just talking about people that maybe didn't have that motherly energy to be held, to be nurtured, to have the compassion, to have the connection, to, you know, to be held close to the chest. I mean, I think that we need that. The divine feminine is the great nurturer. So,
yes.
And so, okay, so with that, right, as we were talking about, we develop this mind construct as we get into adulthood and our spirituality. So when we do soul retrieval,
yes,
we actually want to take that to the wound.
Ah.
So you've got kind of two parts here. You have an observer, which is you today, present moment, the one that has, who has healed,
right,
who has a greater level of consciousness of spiritual principles, who practices meditation, who is the seeker, who is the one who's willing to open up to divine wisdom. So it's that one, right? So that would be your observer. Okay. It's the divine part of you. It's the adult part of you. And you take her or him to yesterday, to the wound, to the child. So here's another way of saying the conscious mind, which is our adult self, we take the conscious mind to the subconscious, which is the inner child.
Yes. Beautiful.
Okay. So right. So another way of saying it, it's the parent-child relationship, but that's happening within us. The parent being the conscious or the adult part of us, going to the child part of us, which is the subconscious. And I will tell you, Linda, there is no, if we could all get it, there is no greater relationship to heal in all of creation than that one.
Yes.
There is not a more sacred, more divine, more powerful relationship than that one.
Yes. It's the one you have with your divine self, you and yourself. Me, myself, and I.
Me, myself, and I. But seriously, because that's the only relationship that's actually really happening.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's funny because I don't know if anybody here follows Kaya Ra with the Sophia Code. So I did a training with her over a year or two ago, and she talks about this concept of we all have to be responsible for reparenting ourselves, because within us is contained the sacred mother and the sacred father within each of us, so that even though our human mother and father didn't, possibly reach that higher level of expectation that we would have liked as children or as babies or as teens or whatever age, we do have within us the divine sacred mother father within us.
Yes.
That assist us to heal, as you said, those subconscious wounds from those time periods where we didn't get those soul needs met, those spirit needs met, those emotional needs met.
Exactly. And that's what soul retrieval does. So we take our consciousness of today and all of the beautiful work that we've done and all the things that we've learned, and we hold, so we are the light.
Yes.
The adult part of us, we are the light, and we go back to that child within us. And in those moments when that wound happened, or there was a real scary situation that happened, or like you, Linda, with feeling the abandonment as a baby and being adopted, it's about taking the very best of you, the love inside of you, the compassion in you, being that light for that baby, you as a baby, and holding that space and emitting. And so there's kind of a couple of different ways, is that we go back to the child as the light, as the God presence.
Right.
And we be with that child, just be with her, be with him. We're not trying to fix anything. We're not trying to make anything different. We're not trying to, give an analysis of what's happening. No one cares. The child doesn't care.
Right.
But we're just with the child as love. And through that energy, that child is going to have an experience. They're going to sense you. They're going to feel you. They're going to relax, and you'll see it. And then once we get into the energy of it, then we want to speak a new dialogue. We want to validate at the level of emotion.
Yes.
Not logic. The kids don't care. If you even look at kids right now, when they throw a big fit, no one cares. A kid does not care. They don't want logic. They don't want your analysis. They don't want you to talk them out of how they feel.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, your inner child doesn't want that either.
Right.
So we have to learn how to speak to ourselves in a very emotionally validating way.
Yes.
You see, to validate, what that means, to validate, it means to support the truth of that which is being validated. So it doesn't matter. See, the adult part of us will look at that and say, well, you know, I mean, gosh, it was actually better that you were adopted, your mom, your daddy, and they come up with all those stories, right? The kid doesn't care. The baby doesn't care.
Right.
The baby doesn't care. Or to say, well, you know, your mom, in my case, you know, she had some real challenges and had to self-medicate and that kind of thing. What about you? No. What we want to say is, honey, I can see how lonely you must feel, how scary this must feel to you, how abandoned you must feel, how alone you must feel, and how separate. That's the language. And we want to use compassion and love. Now we're supporting the truth of this child's experience.
Exactly.
If we go in with logic, we're invalidating the experience. They're having an emotional experience.
Yes.
So we want to validate that with love and kindness and compassion. It doesn't matter whether we understand it or not. What matters is that the child is hurting. The child feels separated. The child doesn't feel safe in its environment. The child feels as though it's going to die with whatever environment, whatever the trauma is going on. The child really feels as though it's going to die. That's the experience of the child, right? Because when we come into this world, we're 100% dependent on our caregivers.
Yes.
Completely dependent. Oh, and then we grow up and it's like, oh, wait, you're not supposed to be dependent anymore. It's like, wait, what? How do we do this? Exactly. And so when the dependency is there, but it's not returned with bonding and love and connection and safety, then there's some very inappropriate attachments that happen. That's when we go into protection. We make up all kinds of things. We put up walls. And then so all of that stuff needs to be undone. So we need to go back to that event and say everything and be everything to that child that was necessary in that time, but that didn't happen.
Yes. What I'm hearing and what I see, when I was actually doing work with children and adolescents, the most important thing they wanted is exactly what you're saying. And it's true of every single one of us. We just want how we're feeling, even as adults.
Absolutely.
Validated.
Absolutely.
We don't care what people are thinking. It doesn't matter if it's your boss, your coworker, your mother, your father, your sister, your aunt, whoever, who's trying to make you feel better by creating logic. That you just want to hear from them that they get what you're feeling and that they can be okay and present with you as you get to feel your feelings without anyone making them wrong. But the truth is, most of us didn't have the blessing of having parents that could validate our feelings. So even we are having to learn as adults.
Absolutely.
How to validate our own feelings when we're feeling crappy, and how to validate the feelings of others that we love, maybe our children, maybe a significant other. We're having to learn how to do that because for the most part, most of us probably didn't have that, that modeling. From what you're telling me, that's what it sounds like. We just didn't get the modeling of how do you validate someone's feelings deeply. So we're actually going back, the way you're saying, it's like we're going back to have all those parts of us, our soul, validated for those moments when we felt invalidated.
Absolutely. We grew up in the model of invalidation.
Yes.
Because our grandparents didn't teach them, and on and on and on and on, the whole lineage thing. Right. And so I do feel like we're, we've talked about this, Linda, where, we're in the Aquarian age.
Yes.
And so the energies are perfect. The energies, the frequency, the magnetic field on the planet, it is so perfect for us to be able to learn this in a way that's not so arduous, you see.
Yes. We're very lucky right now, truly. I know
We are.
the frequencies are intense, but there's
Yes,
a positive side to that. Is that
absolutely.
it's actually easier now for us to, connect to higher frequencies and bring those down, and the healing is so much faster. I mean, like
Absolutely.
light speed faster than it was
Absolutely.
20 years ago.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so this is why I want to say that in our relationships, whether it's co-workers or romantic or children or family, when you get triggered, or if somebody you're in relationship with, if you get triggered, if your insecurity gets triggered and you want to go into fight flight, or you want to go into defense, or you want to, defend your position, or you want to be right because what's happening is unfair or unjust, whatever. When that trigger happens, that's about you. That's about me. That's something inside of us that is calling for love. There's two calls. It's either, two things are happening. It's either, a call for love or, a call for fear. And so so when those triggers happen, they are, it's a call for love. And that's when sometimes we want to step away and go into inquiry about what am I feeling, and become emotionally intelligent. And that's the thing. It's so that's self-love. And when you can do that in all of your relationships, now you've taken the responsibility from other people and you've brought it to yourself. And that's what it means. And everybody talks about this. We have to take 100% responsibility, but yet nobody really knows what that means.
Yeah, right.
That's what it means. It's like, okay, I am feeling some real uncomfortability in my body. I'm feeling some very tense energy in my body. I feel triggered. I want to just tell this person off. And, sometimes you just need to, and then go deal with yourself. However, but things will perpetuate if you don't really go within yourself and explore that at the deeper level. And those, this is why people they feel trapped in relationships, or they get stuck. It's because it's the same issue repeats itself over and over and over and over. Neither person feels heard, validated, respected, honored, and it just perpetuates over and over and over. And eventually that relationship, no matter what it is, it's going to erode. Yeah. And so it's going to break down. And so if you're in a relationship where you just cannot get past a certain issue, that's when you want to go in and do your work. When you do your work and you do soul retrieval and you go back, or you feel that energy in your body, it's like, gosh, this energy's been in me for a long time. And it's like, okay, when did this come in? And when did I feel this way? And when, what's my first memory of that? And I'll tell you, if you're really genuine if you really want to know, your subconscious is going to pop that out to you. If you really want to know, when you're ready, it will. Yeah. And then that's when there's going to be a memory. It's like, oh gosh, yeah, I remember, it was with my dad, and I had an ice cream, and I it dropped all over his brand new car, and he just went off the rails on me, and I got scared, whatever that story is, right? And then that's when you want to go to the child and say, yes, honey, I can see that really scared you, and I can see that you felt like you did the wrong thing, and I can see that it really hurt you for your father to treat you this way and to speak to you this way. And you just go on and on and on and validate this part of yourself. And then eventually she's like, well, who cares? I'm good. It's like, get my ice cream. And you'll find that it's like, it wasn't ever an issue anymore. Now, that's a simple, that's a simple situation. People have deeper traumas than dropping an ice cream cone on their dad's new car. I get that. Right. But just to kind of keep things a little bit light for everybody to understand, that's how you would want to do it. Because if you're not feeling heard, that happened somewhere in your timeline. Somewhere there's a trauma that's associated to that. And that's when you want to go listen to you.
Yes.
You want to go and really feel and allow that part of you to express itself in its hurt and its pain and its sorrow and its grief and all of those, and listen to yourself. You know, you really want to listen to you. Yeah. And once you really get good at that, once you understand that there is real power, and you understand the power that you have to change your energy, you have the power to change your emotions, you have the power to change your frequency. And, you know, of course, A Miracle says it only takes one of us to change the dynamic in the relationship. Only one of us needs to hold the truth.
Yes, that's true.
And it aligns. We can't be attached to the outcome. We're on a planet of free will, so we don't know what the other person's going to do. But it absolutely creates the invitation for the other person to go deeper and maybe to look at their stuff too, without saying anything.
Right.
You know, without telling them, hey, you know, this is what you need to do, you know, because we're real good at that.
Exactly.
You know.
Jayne, I have a question. So given that, you know, obviously we've all had different types of traumas that have gotten stuck somewhere in the past. Like you said, some are lighter, some are heavier, some maybe are so subconscious we're not even aware of them.
Right.
You know, I know that I've had some that it wasn't until I had some work done with another practitioner, I was like, whoa, you know, I had no idea, I forgot about that, or I didn't have a memory of it because it was so early, you know, like at birth or pre-birth sometimes. So for instance, for a group soul retrieval process, if we could have like an experience of that with you, how would that work? Like what do we need to do in order for you to be able to do a soul, like a simple soul retrieval type experience with us, so we can kind of know what this is like get a taste of it?
Sure, I can take everybody through it. If anybody has any questions, should I just so I know kind of where everybody's thoughts are before I take everybody through it?
Okay, great. We can have people unmute. So if you're on your phone, you can hit the unmute button. If you are on the computer, you can hit the little mic on the lower left corner and unmute yourself so that you can speak or ask a question or share an awareness.
Yeah, it would just help me to know how to set up the group, you know, the group process. That way I can be as precise as I can, because it's going to be a general meditation that I'll take everybody through. But if anybody's got any specific questions, then it can kind of help me maybe be a bit more precise in how we do it.
Wonderful. So does anybody want to just unmute yourself and then here's
Hi, Jayne, this is Africa. How are you doing?
Hey, Africa, how are you?
I'm good. I don't necessarily have a question about the retrieval process. I guess maybe I do. I wanted to know more about it. It's like I'm trying to wrap my head around. It's kind of almost like being really nurturing and mothering. Am I grasping that correctly?
Right.
But then not so. I get the piece about letting the logic, trying to logic someone out of not using that.
Right.
But it's so weird because that is a default of mine to go with the logic.
Yeah, it is for all of us.
So, I guess at what point, I mean, and you gave the example of the ice cream in the car, but at what point do they feel, or would I feel relief, or is it just something that happens, you kind of build up over time, because we all have different, or at least I do have several different things that have happened, right?
Right.
And so even if I went to deal with one of them, is it going back several times to the same incident to heal that?
That's a fantastic question. I think it's different for everyone. The whole idea is self-love, and to really create a lifestyle of self-love. So it's not something we would do one time and then it's fixed. It's something we want to do every day. every moment. Well, I mean, we have to work too, but but throughout the day of checking in. One of the things I love is Ho'oponopono. Are you familiar with that? I love you, thank you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Just even in the background, when I'm doing stuff, maybe not at work, but it's just like, I love you, Jayne, I love you, thank you, I love you, thank you. Like, I just kind of let that run in my background just so that I have it. But I do feel that the more that you can go back and love those aspects of yourself, and you may find there may be one incident when you were 4 or 5 years old or whatever, and you go back and you love that inner child, and what you end up finding actually is sometimes you go back and she's not there, and that's because she just fully integrated into you, and that's when she's free.
Yes,
that's when she's free.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So and I don't know if we'll be able to do the full process, but I'm going to give everybody a really good idea of what this process is like. The ultimate healing, what I have found through my experience with myself and other people, other clients, is once we go back to that scene and that inner child is no longer there, or she's willing to join you in present time, that's when you know that she's fully integrated into your being. She is your soul light. Your inner child is an aspect of your soul. And we want to call that soul light back to us, to integrate into us, because that gives us our energy, our vitality, our youth, our enthusiasm, our ability to dare, to dream, to imagine, to create, to step into the world as ourselves without being afraid of what other people are going to think about us and all that. Because we have ourselves. We have more of our soul light. And when we have more of our soul light, we have more of our truth. And when that truth is really integrated into the cell tissue and the DNA, we don't need the approval. It's nice to have, it's really nice to have, but we don't come from a place of need.
Yeah. Well, Jayne, I can make this a lot easier for you because, one of my little magic superpowers is that I can hold whole group fields and hold the intention for transmutation for whatever particular, let's say, trauma needs the energetic attention that you want to bring to the group. So beautiful. I'm hanging out on the back end.
Beautiful.
What the different stories are for people.
Yes.
A particular moment in time that's coming to each of you right now, because I'm feeling the energy moving a lot in the field. There's a lot of heart energy. What I keep hearing is that there were moments in each of your lives where your heart got shut down.
Yes.
A real, unfortunate situation of some sort, and your heart just shut out of protection. It shut. So definitely there's a huge energy here wanting to open around the heart. It feels like that's kind of the theme today.
Yes.
I feel that there's obviously other chakra energies right now that are also connected with that, like your solar plexus, the lower chakras that connect you to earth and being in your physical body. I feel a lot of that energy activating right now, but a lot in the heart on down. There's a lot of that going on.
Yes.
So whatever particular area or a moment in time is coming up for you, I just want everyone here on the call to just let that be here so that as Jayne goes through her process, it's being held and transmuted on a higher level.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Wonderful. Okay, well, let's do it.
Yay.
Everybody's ready to go. Let's do it. Okay.
Unless there's any other questions, is there anybody else who wants to share something or ask a question or get some kind of clarification or before we go into this part? Just unmute yourself. No?
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Time after. We'll open up again for.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll just say real quick too, May 5th, I'm going to do a deep dive on soul retrieval. Great. And I can talk about that later, but this will just give everybody a taste of what this is like. Okay. So, okay. All right. So, all right, here we go. All right. So I just want to invite everybody, just close your eyes or keep them open, whatever feels right to you. The most important thing is to just take a couple of deep breaths and allow yourself to really feel your physical body. Just take note of your physical senses, what you hear, what you feel. Just the chair that you're sitting in, just becoming very present. And knowing that this is a very safe and supported space. And we invite our higher selves, all of our angels and guides. And if you have a loved one in spirit that you feel very close to, you can invite them as well to be with you. And I want you to just get in touch with the part of you that feels and knows herself or himself as connected, loving, kind, compassionate. The part of you that has felt those moments of enlightenment. The part of you that knows you're timeless, you're the part of you that knows your innocence, your freedom, that you're born of love. You're a thought of God or the universe or source, whatever feels right to you. That you are of that energy. You are that. And just connect with him or her. Another way of saying that is just remembering the truth. And take another nice deep breath. And just sink more deeply into that moment, into that truth. And as you sink more deeply into that truth, I'd like for you to invite an aspect of yourself, a younger version of yourself that feels wounded or hurt. A time in your life when an event happened that caused you a lot of stress or worry, hurt, heartbreak. A version of yourself that just isn't or doesn't feel quite aligned with love. I want you to bring that version up into your conscious mind while holding the space of the observer. You are the observer, you're the light, and you're inviting a younger version who still feels wounded. You're inviting them into your space. And as the observer, I'd like for you to really look at this part of you, this child within you. Notice the scene. Notice the experience. Notice where she or he is. And you may find yourself in a memory, and that's okay. But just observe your inner child. Observe what they must be feeling in this moment. Stay with the feeling. And as you observe your inner child, I want you to really hold the space of love and understanding of why they feel the way they feel. Really understand them. Hold compassion, empathy for this beautiful inner child. Knowing that at that time of the event, they did not have what you're offering them, which is your love, your understanding, your compassion, your empathy. In this moment, you have the power to set them free through the light of your love. And as you're present with them, it's very possible that you will see a change with your inner child. If you don't, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. And for some of you, you may see a change. Your inner child may soften, relax a bit. And as they relax and soften, as they notice you, or if they don't notice you, that's okay too. I would like for you to move a little bit closer to them as the observer and validate within your mind, validate their emotions. And it may sound something like, sweetheart, I can see how afraid you're feeling. I can see and feel you're really questioning your value. I can see the hurt. I can see the betrayal. I can see that you're feeling unsafe and confused. Whatever those emotions are that you're observing, validate your inner child. And I'll give you a moment to do that on your own. And as you validate, it's also very important to validate that you also see their light, their brilliance, their imagination, their creativity. Their sacred expression, their smile, the light in their eyes. You can also see that and hold that space for them. Helping them to be reminded of what they forgot. How much you love to hear their laughter. For some of you, if your voice was suppressed, maybe you were forced to act in a certain way that wasn't natural to you, you can just validate how much you love to see them create and dance and sing and be joyful. And reassure them that they are safe with you. And you may say something along the lines, sweetheart, all of your emotions are safe with me. The joy, the happiness, the excitement, enthusiasm, as well as your sorrow, your grief, your hurt, your pain. They are all welcomed with me. I love you unconditionally. I accept you for who you are. And in the right time and when you feel safe, I encourage you and invite you to let go of the heavy burdens you've carried for both of us, so that both of us may be free. And together we become, you and I, our most beautiful, sacred, holy selves. I am completely committed to you feeling safe, at peace, and content. And when you're ready, I would love for you to join me in our present day life so that we walk together, connected, in union, in perfect harmony with one another. I love you. I love you. I love you. So take a nice deep breath. Just let that integrate for just a moment. Just breathe. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back present.
beautiful movement happening. Brought in some energy of pyrite. I brought in the energy of quartz and the Metatron's the Macabre. I brought in some extra help with some of the movement that happened. Wow.
Yeah. So that is that's a broad it's kind of a general way of doing it. Like those would be like the steps.
Mm-hmm.
When I work with people individually, then it's much more tailored intuitively to them and what they're really processing, that type of thing. And even in groups, groups will present a theme. Exactly. And we can work more specifically in that way. But just even that, just to know how to talk to yourself and connect with yourself can move a lot of wonderful energy.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I love the words that you gave. I could just feel the beautiful energy of your heart just coming in and infusing the whole circle with so much love to help us be able to really transmute out the wounding and turn it back into love and light.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow, that was beautiful.
And and that only took, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. I don't know how long that took, but if we did that every day, if we just connected in and just validated even just what we're feeling in the moment, it's like, oh God, I'm scared about this meeting, or oh God, is my presentation good enough? Oh God, blah, blah. Just even if we're, yes, honey, I can see that. Yes, I can see that you're stressed. Yes, I can see that you're worried. Yes, I can see that. And I offer you my love and my compassion and my support. And I offer you my cheerleading. I'm rooting you on. It's like if you just did that, I'm scared about this particular appointment or what. It's just be honest, being intimate with yourself, validating yourself, like that right there can just change. It can change so much. It can bring you connected and present. So, but you don't have to get plugged up in all that stuff.
Exactly. Oh my God, it's a reminder that we just need to do this practice, which really it feels like it's a self-love practice. We allow our higher self.
Yes.
Love our human self.
Yes.
It's going through in the moment.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Learning to love yourself.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, I'm sure there may be people on the call who either want to say hello, or they have a question, or they want to share something about their experience. Because if you do feel, since we're in a beautiful, conscious field right now of lots of love and light, and still a lot of transmuting energy happening right now, actually for the whole group.
Yes.
Feel a need to say something, know that it probably is something that the group needs to hear. So I encourage you to share whatever it is, because it might be that one thing that someone else needs to hear that'll help complete a healing process for someone. So if you do feel you need to share or want to share something, you have a question, I encourage you to unmute yourself and just share.
Sure. Absolutely. It's a lot of energy, and it does take a lot of focus to and attention.
I would love to share, you guys.
Oh my God, my angel.
Hello, you two, all the whole group. It's so amazing to be here. I'm glad we're recording this, because what you just took us through is something I'm going to go back and I'm going to implement this each day.
Yes.
Exactly like what you're saying. I know how powerful it is. I know how effective it is. I can express that I've done some soul retrieval work with Jayne in the past, in the present, and it is truly a remarkable transformation of removing and letting go of layers and peeling back layers that we don't even know that's there. And it is really going deep from, Jayne, I remember you told me one time, this can go back from childhood, from we were very young, or it could be something that was 8 months ago. So just now I had versions of myself when I was 7 years old, and then I had versions of myself from just 8 months ago of things that I was going through and trying to release. So I had both of those versions by my side.
Yeah.
and so even going forward, when there's appointments or there's things that I might get stuck, just bringing that that 10 or 15 minutes of recognizing and nurturing the self and speaking to her and telling her it's okay and validating that those feelings. It's not something we often do, and I get stuck in the words. I don't normally know how to even speak to her. So you've just given us that beautiful vocabulary and dialogue and a knowingness on, like, you're channeling how we speak to that inner person. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh, so good to see your sweet face, Elizabeth. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Thank you. Good to see
Yeah.
both of you. Yeah. It's good to be on here. And yeah, what you're sharing with the world is remarkable. And I've never seen it anywhere.
Well, you know, it was really born out of a process, a very painful process for me. And it was all spirit driven. It just kind of happened over a couple of nights of meditation, and it, you know, it's through the whole Ho'oponopono, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger in me. And it's like, wow, this whole process unfolded, and it's like, wow, it's a process I use every day. So it's something that I embody, and I thank you for saying that. It's just, you know, giving the language to these emotions and feelings is so important. Is so important because we spend so much of our lives hiding behind them, and you know, sometimes our language can be a distraction to how we feel, or it can be a liberator to what we're feeling.
Yes.
Language is very powerful.
It is. Beautiful. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Thank you for putting this together.
Who else would like to share maybe their experience or a question you have for Jayne? Anything along those lines? Don't be shy, or you can actually type it into the chat. So if you want to just type something into the chat, if you have a particular question, you can do that as well. Well, then I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves.
Okay, cool, awesome.
So we can see all who is here today. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have I guess we could have everybody unmute. So if you on the computer, you just look at the bottom left corner, there's a little mic, and you can hit the unmute button. Or if you're on your phone, you can hit the unmute button on your little app. Not sure.
Jayne and Linda, thank you so much for this today. I'm actually going to have to jump on a couple of appointment calls.
Sure.
And do some follow-ups over here, but love you both, and that was remarkable. I'll be reaching out to you guys very, very soon.
Yes,
and
thank
you for coordinating. All right.
Love you, girl.
Guys.
So I'm just going to see who's all here. I'm just going to just start calling our people. So Africa, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Africa. I'm not sure all what you want me to say, Linda.
Oh, well, you're part of the Academy, and
I'm part of the Academy, yes.
one of my support team, so thank you for being here.
So I really enjoyed the call today. It was amazing. And in chat, I typed in the book that I remembered that I actually have. Like, I literally looked up and like, oh, there's the book with the, how do you say it again, Linda?
Ho'oponopono.
Thank you.
Put it in the chat. Yeah, the book is No Limits, and Joe Vitale talks about what Ho'oponopono is.
Yeah, in that book. And so I'm like, yeah, I know what that is. So no, this was really interesting, and I had a really good experience on something that's actually pretty traumatic for me. I kept wanting to go to a different place to be helpful, and I was like, no, you're going to go here now. So it was good. It was good. It was a lot. I thought I would like be breaking down crying, but I'm not. Like, I'm okay. And so that was really amazing. So thank you.
Good, awesome.
All right, who's next? Veronica, would you like to share? I know I think you're on the phone.
Yes, I'm on the phone. Similar to Africa, I think when you all were first talking and after you did your grounding, and we're kind of as Jayne was guiding us what this was. It was like I had all these flashes. I kind of didn't open my eyes and stayed in that grounding, and I kept flashing back to like different situations through my life.
Yeah.
With a very repetitive pattern of rejection or feeling rejected or feeling not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Jayne started the process, I, as Air Africa, the same thing, wanted to go back to one place that had kind of flashed earlier to me, but it took me to another place that I didn't want to go to. It was more difficult. And I too, like Africa, thought I would be a little bit more emotional or feel more sadness or pain. But the way Jayne led us, it was such a, I don't want to say soft process, but I think it was a compassionate process that I didn't feel that. And I've tried to go back to this place. It is a trauma that I went through, and I feel this time it was very different, and I actually feel better.
Oh,
And I think it stems from it was the beginning of when those other traumas repetitively, even like you all said, it could be like Elizabeth said 8 months ago. I mean, it was weeks
Right.
ago that I felt something that stems back from that, feeling the rejection or the shame or the, I don't know, the not good enough feeling. And it was amazing. So thank you all so much. I didn't even know about this. I just jumped onto Facebook after I had a break, and I saw it, and I don't know, I felt called to be on it.
oh, good. I'm so glad you joined
You
me.
always read my mind, Linda. So
I know. It's like,
so thank you all so much. I really, really appreciated the call. I loved it. I can't wait to do some more work, hopefully with Jayne soon.
yes, we're going to share in just a minute some fun things that she's doing, that I'm doing, and she and I are going to be doing in the near future together.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you.
All right, there's some more people on here. Who else would like to just introduce and just say hello? There's some.
This is Crystal. Yeah. Hi. Just a quick thank you, an expression of gratitude for you and for Jayne and for the other women and individuals on this call for that experience and holding the space and the intentions today. So thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Crystal, for having your presence here.
Hey, that's awesome.
Wonderful. Who else would like to introduce themselves? You got some shy ones on.
That's okay.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Their energy's here, so
Yeah.
you can hide your energy. Well, Jayne, share what's going on May the 5th.
So May the 5th, it's I believe that's a Sunday at 2 o'clock. I'm going to be doing a soul retrieval, learning to love yourself event. It's 4 hours, and I limit this group only to 6 people. And so we're going to be talking about emotional intelligence. We'll be doing soul retrieval work. We'll be and it'll be centered in relationships again.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be romantic. Again, it can be coworkers, it can be family, whatever it is. But we'll center it in relationships. But that event, it's a deep dive, and we really take our time in being able to get familiar with the observer of us, being able to bring that light and love and compassion to the wounded parts of us. So we really take our time in being able to do that and hold that within our minds. So, and I can't remember who said this, but somebody said where they were a little bit nervous about it, but then it was through the compassion and it's more of a softer way. It didn't make them feel so afraid. That's it, you know, because we don't want to go look at that stuff, right? We don't want to do that. It is scary because we feel like we're going to relive it and be re-traumatized by it.
Yes.
But I really want to teach people and show them the light within themselves, because ultimately that's how we want to know ourselves, because that's what we want to take back to the wound. So it's a deep dive, and we really take our time. and I'll do demonstrations with individuals, and then we'll also do a group demonstration as well. So if this is something that you want more of, and you want it more thoroughly, this is a great group to come to. So it's May 5th, 2 p.m., the Holistic House of Healing, which is right off of Lake Creek and 183, I believe.
Okay.
The cost is $60. I do ask people to, pay up front to reserve their spot.
Right.
And so that's what's coming up. And then I do individual coaching. And then I also have packages for people that really want to go a lot deeper into this work. So if you're really in a place where you're tired of being tired, and you're done with the cycles, and there's a trauma that you just can't get past, it's a wonderful way to do it. It's a 5-week program, and we really get deep into that stuff and really move the needle on that energy, being stuck in your body, to being transmuted into more self-love.
Yes.
And then I've got some ideas for retreats coming up later in the summer. I know you and I want to do some work together. June 15th, I'm doing a shamanic retreat with a shaman, a very, very good friend of mine. We're going to be out at the Troyes Estate June 15th.
Okay.
And I'll have more details about that too. We'll be doing fire ceremonies, and I'll do soul retrieval work. I'll be talking about that, energy work, spirit communication, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a lot of fun too. So May 5th, a soul retrieval event, learning to love yourself, a deeper dive. June 15th, shamanic retreat. I'll have details out about that. And then later in the summer, I've got some ideas on some retreats out of state, but we'll talk more about that later on. But yeah.
Wonderful. I'm so excited. Well, Jayne, I put your link with all this information in the Academy site for those that are in the Academy. And then those that are not in the Academy, you still got an email with the link information, so you can get this information from Jayne.
Awesome.
Also, for those that want to experience Matilda My Gong and experience a really powerful sound healing and meditation process, usually once or twice a month on Friday at noon at my place, Awaken Your Light Studio in Kyle, I offer a group gong sound healing, and I also do private sessions as well with sound healing, and also just private transformational sessions for people or for groups. So if you have a group of women in a circle and you want to do some deeper transformation work, I definitely do that. So this Friday at 12 noon, I put it over there in the little chat, and those of you who aren't on my list, you can just text me and say, can you send me the information, and I'll send that to you. The other thing that I'm also going to be doing, well, of course you can join the Academy if you want to all year long and get great experiences with the different people that are featured twice a month. I feature all kinds of amazing people, including doing powerful, deeper transformational work that I also lead the group through as well. Because the whole point is to awaken your life, to get to that next level of your authenticity, clearing off the layers that are keeping you from really sharing your light in the world. So whatever that looks like for each of you. Also in June, it's going to probably be about the 23rd or so. This is still tentative as well. I'm going to be going to Mount Shasta, and so I'm going to be offering some powerful, holy transformational processes on the mountain. So if that sounds cool for you, again, I have in the chat my text number. You can just text me and say, hey, Linda, can you put me on the announcement list so that I can know about all this stuff? Or, yeah, that would be the best way, just to text me. I'm a big texter. So that would be another way to get a hold of me, including, just doing some deep dive transformational work if you're stuck and you just need to get unstuck. So I would love to connect with all of you beautiful people in the near future, or have you come to one of the offerings. And I can't wait for Jayne and I to get together and do one of our bigger magical offerings together, because our energies actually amplify very strongly together, because we're very much on the same wavelength about the way that we do our work, and our kind of our alignment with integrity around the heart and compassion and love. So I really love that energy kind of bounces and expands when we're around.
Yes.
So it's really cool, because I just feel we can expand more, and more can happen at deeper levels with people when practitioners come together to give their light. I just see so much just incredible things that happen energetically when that happens. So I can't wait for us to announce, what that's going to be. We're still brainstorming what that could be because there's so many possibilities.
Yes, there are.
So if you want announcements for that, if you're obviously already on Jayne's list, great. Or if you want to be on her list, like I said, you got the email with her contact information. And if you want to be on my list, that's fine too. You can just let me know and text me. That way you can hear about all the fun stuff we're going to be doing.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes, absolutely.
Well, what I want to do, Jayne, is there any last closing things before I close the circle? Is there anything, last things you want to share with the group?
Yeah, I think it's all about lifestyle, and it's all about our approach. I was a tennis coach for 31 years as an athlete all my life. And one of the things that, in my teams, we always had to have a culture and an environment. And as a coach, I always had to have a philosophy. And I think when you build your own culture in your personal life and your own philosophy, and you have that as a baseline, and self-love is that culture for you, it grows and you heal and energy moves and opportunities come and things that you didn't see that were always there, but you didn't see them because you're blocked. It's, that self-love and validation can really set a lot of energy free and help you move forward and open up your creativity and open up your imagination, your intuition, and help you take some of those risks that maybe you normally wouldn't take, but that would really pay off and bring you incredible amount of joy. Yeah. And self-love is the key to joy and to know your power and to really know who you are and to really take that sense of responsibility. And we're not at the default of the world. We really can get a hold of our energy through self-love and through dialogue and create a whole different experience for ourselves.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, Jayne. I want to say thank you to your beautiful light for being in the world and all the gifts that you share with the world. They say that, we never know what our true legacy is, but it actually is every single person that you touch in your entire life. That's your legacy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that you're touching many beautiful lives in the world, including our wonderful earth and lots of trees.
Yes, absolutely.
And rocks and grass. So you're leaving a beautiful legacy, not just to nature, but also to many souls who cross your path. And so I just want to thank you for the service you offer to the world and for being willing to come on a call like this and us to sacredly play together and really promote more light in the world and bring healing to the world through the different gifts we give. And thank you to all the beautiful souls that showed up, because your light is part of what gives us our purpose. So thank you for showing up, all of you who showed up, and those that will watch later. Thank you, thank you. And so what I want to do is I just want to bless this circle. I want to ask that all the beautiful grace that was here to hold us in this deeper healing process that we all went through with soul retrieval with Jayne, I just ask that this process be blessed, that there's any aspects of what we went through that still needs some continued healing. I ask that the Archangel of Transmutation and Love and Light stay with you to continue that process. I ask that your higher guides stay with you to continue this process of deeper and deeper and deeper self-love to all the parts of you that needed to be validated when you were younger, that needed to be shown love and understanding and compassion. I ask that those parts of you receive that love from your higher self and from your heart wisdom in the days to come, so that you are whole, heal, and complete. So you can really feel that in your life, so that you can serve from that place. So whatever you do in your life, you're able to serve from this knowing that you are full love, pure love, you are loved, and that you can serve from that place. So I just ask that you each be blessed. I ask that the divine and the grace that is here bless each of you. Thousands upon thousands of blessings to each of your lives and to those that you serve, to your family, to the places where you work, that all those places be filled with your light and with your love. And with that, I seal this beautiful sacred circle we created. I seal it in love and light. And I just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done.
Amen.
All right.
Wonderful.
Oh, well, thank you so much, everybody, for being
Ah,
here. Y'all
thank
want to
you, Linda.
say goodbye? Y'all can do that.
All right.
Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Yes. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you all for joining and being part of this magic. And I'll send out a replay and I'll send you a link, Jayne.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Linda. I really appreciate your love, your light, your blessings, holding space for us. Just all that you contribute and your healing energies and your intuition and the way that you're able to create sacred space for us. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Blessings. Blessings.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Okay.
good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.